Look at your shoes. They are clean, aren't they? You bought them because some influencer with teeth too white for nature told you they would shave 20 seconds off your 5K pace. You spent $250 to look fast in the grocery store parking lot, but tomorrow morning when your alarm goes off at 5 a.m., you are going to lace them up and perform the exact same ritual of self-deception that has kept you stuck in the same fitness plateau for the last 18 months. You hate hearing this, but someone has to tell you the truth because your running buddies are too polite to say it to your face. You are working incredibly hard at being completely stagnant. You finish every single run drenched in sweat, gasping for air, looking at your smartwatch with a mixture of pride and profound disappointment because the numbers simply do not move. Your VO2 max is trapped in a concrete box, and every time you try to kick the walls down, you just end up with shin splints and a deep sense of existential dread. Before we dive into the precise physiological trap you have built for yourself, do me a massive favor. If you want to finally break through this wall and stop wasting your miles, hit that subscribe button right now, drop a like on this video, and leave a comment below telling me exactly which city or state you are watching from. Share this with that one friend who refuses to slow down, and if you want to support this channel directly so we can keep bringing you this raw, unfiltered truth, consider becoming a channel member via the link in the pinned comment below. Your support is quite literally what keeps this channel standing. Now, let's do a quick reality check, because you need to look into the mirror of your training log and realize something uncomfortable. You think you are training hard because it feels hard. You wake up, you hit the pavement, and you immediately push yourself into that gray zone where conversation becomes impossible, but you aren't exactly sprinting either. You stay there for 45 minutes, convinced that pain equals progress. It is a beautiful lie. You have fallen in love with the comfort of discomfort. You are addicted to that specific level of fatigue that makes you feel like a hero at breakfast, but biologically speaking, you are running in a dead zone. You aren't going long enough to build a true aerobic engine, and you aren't going fast enough to force your cardiovascular system to adapt. You are just grinding your gears, wearing down your cartilage, and wondering why your watch keeps telling you that your fitness level is unproductive. The truth is, your body is incredibly smart, and it has figured out exactly how to survive your daily self-inflicted torture without actually getting any fitter. It has optimized for your mediocrity. To understand why this happens, we have to look at what is actually occurring inside your chest when you run. Your VO2 max isn't just some arbitrary fitness score generated by a silicon chip on your wrist. It is the absolute maximum volume of oxygen your body can utilize during intense exercise. It is the size of your engine. Right now, you are trying to put a massive turbocharger on a lawnmower motor. When you force yourself into that middle ground pace day after day, your stroke volume, the amount of blood your heart can pump with each single beat, never actually reaches its peak potential. Your heart is beating too fast to fill up completely, which means the cardiac muscle never gets the specific stretch it needs to grow larger and more powerful. You are essentially doing quarter reps at the gym and wondering why your muscles aren't growing. The breakthrough comes when you realize that to build a massive engine, you have to stop trying to redline it every single day. The world's elite runners, the people who make 4-minute miles look like a casual stroll in the park, spend upwards of 80% of their total volume running at a pace that you would probably consider embarrassingly slow. They are building a massive aerobic base by keeping their heart rates firmly in zone 2, which allows their mitochondria to multiply, their capillary networks to expand, and their hearts to pump more blood with less effort. Then, and only then, do they inject short, brutal, highly specific doses of absolute intensity to push the ceiling of their VO2 max higher. They do not live in the middle. They understand that the magic happens at the extremes. But I know exactly what you are thinking right now because I used to think the same thing. You think that if you slow down, you will lose your hard-earned fitness. You think that if your neighbor sees you running a 10-minute mile, your ego will crumble into dust. You are letting your vanity dictate your physiology, and it is costing you months of progress. What if I told you that the very thing you hate the most, the act of holding yourself back, of running at a pace that feels almost insulting, is the exact key that unlocks the door to your next breakthrough? It sounds completely counterintuitive, like trying to win a drag race by starting in second gear, but the science doesn't care about your intuition, and it certainly doesn't care about your ego. Think about the last time you actually felt fast. Not just tired, but genuinely powerful, like you were gliding over the ground instead of slamming into it. It probably hasn't happened in a long time because your legs are constantly carrying the residual fatigue of 5 previous mediocre runs. You are trapped in a cycle of chronic low-level exhaustion. Your muscles are starved for glycogen, your nervous system is fried, and you are trying to build a monument on a foundation of quicksand. If you want to see your VO2 max skyrocket, you have to be willing to tear down the system you currently trust and replace it with something that feels radically different. This brings us to the ultimate realization that separates the amateurs from the athletes who actually achieve longevity and speed. The moment you stop treating every single run as a test of your mental toughness is the moment you start training like a professional. You don't need more mental toughness. You have plenty of that clearly, given how much pain you are willing to endure for 0 results. What you need is tactical restraint. You need the courage to be slow today so that you can be terrifyingly fast next month. When you finally accept this, everything changes. You start looking at your training log not as a list of grievances and frustrations, but as a roadmap of deliberate, calculated adaptations. You stop chasing the immediate dopamine hit of a high average pace on your smartwatch and start chasing the long-term physiological changes that actually matter. You realize that the discomfort you were avoiding wasn't the pain of running fast, but the psychological discomfort of letting go of your control. Now that you understand you're sabotaging your own engine, we need to draw up a practical roadmap to get you out of this pit of frustration. I'm not going to give you a complex spreadsheet or lab terms that only impress scientists. What you need is a cold, mechanical combat strategy. Starting tomorrow, your running plan will be divided into 2 completely opposite realities, and you'll have to learn to hate and love both in equal measure. The first change will crush your pride. You'll take 80% of your weekly volume and run so slowly that you'll feel an almost uncontrollable urge to apologize to the people you pass in the park. If your watch starts beeping, telling you you're going too slow, you'll ignore your ego and maintain the pace. You will breathe exclusively through your nose. If you feel the need to open your mouth to draw air, you are violating the pact. You are entering the gray area of mediocrity again. This deliberate slowness has a sacred biological purpose. While you run at this pace that seems almost an insult to your dignity, your body is undergoing a hidden industrial rebuild. You are recruiting your slow twitch muscle fibers, teaching your liver and muscles to burn fat as primary fuel, and above all, giving your overworked nervous system a rest. It is in this planned calm that your heart finally finds the physical space to expand its ejection volume, preparing the infrastructure for the real attack. Because the other 20% of your week, that will be a genuine glimpse of hell. Once a week, you will forget moderation and do interval training that will force your cardiovascular system to reach the absolute limit of its survival capacity. We're not talking about a disorganized sprint to exhaustion. We're talking about 4-minute intervals at a pace that will make you question all the life choices that brought you to that moment, followed by an identical active recovery. You will do this 4 times. You'll feel your lungs burning, the taste of iron in your mouth, and your heart pounding against your ribs like a caged animal. It's precisely at this threshold of purely controlled despair that your VO2 max is forced to expand. You destroy the system with maximum intensity and rebuild the temple with extreme slowness. Here's the real turning point in your mind, the click that will forever change the way you look at the asphalt. Consistency isn't about the intensity of your daily effort, it's about the intelligence of your discipline. The amateur runner believes progress is a straight line made of continuous suffering. The elite athlete knows progress is a pendulum that swings between strategic patience and surgical aggression. When you finally accept that your slower run is the real fuel for your faster run, your clock will stop giving you negative feedback. You'll see your times plummeting in competitions as your perceived effort decreases drastically. You'll look back and kind of feel sorry for that version of yourself who used to run with your chest bursting every day, only to reap crumbs of progress and a collection of aches and pains in your joints. But beware, because danger lurks in the most common routine of all. You can apply this division perfectly, but if you make the invisible mistake that most people make off the track, you'll remain stuck. And this connects perfectly with the big problem I see happening every week in the running world. Imagine this. You run exactly 5 kilometers every day. You give your all. You feel like you're fulfilling your military obligation to fitness, but your progress has completely disappeared, and you've been at the same level for months or maybe years. The real problem may be hidden in a detail so obvious that you're completely blind to it. In the next episode, we're going to dismantle exactly this scenario. If you run 5 km every day stay and don't improve. The problem may be what we're going to reveal in detail. To avoid missing this revelation that will change your daily workout, do yourself a favor. Click the subscribe button now, turn on notifications to be the first to know when the video comes out, like it, and share this content with that workout partner of yours who needs this reality check. If you want to directly help this project continue producing content with this depth and without half-truths, become a channel member through the link in the pinned comment. See you on the road with less hurry and much more intelligence.